Prominent Las Vegas businessman Scott Gragson, who was charged in a deadly DUI crash, is now behind bars. Thank you for joining us tonight at 6. I'm Brian Loftus.
I'm Kirsten Joyce. A judge sentenced Gragson today to 8 to 20 years in prison for killing a woman and injuring 3 others in May of 2019. Orko Manna joins us live in the newsroom with the emotional testimony from the courtroom today. Orko.
Well, Kirsten and Brian, the families of those affected by the crash gave heart-wrenching victim impact statements today. Gragson was actually not inside the courtroom. Instead, he appeared through video call virtually, but he did turn himself in later in the day to start serving his sentence.
My stomach gets nauseous just thinking about it.
Absolute anguish for families grappling with grief. On May 30th, 2019, prominent Las Vegas businessman Scott Gragson killed a young mother and substantially injured 3 others in a crash while driving under the influence in the exclusive Summerlin community, The Ridges.
Were you involved in the accident? What happened?
Forensic toxicology reports show Gragson's blood alcohol level was more than 2 times the legal limit. Prosecutors say he had been drinking at a charity golf tournament that day. Loved ones of Christopher Bentley, one of Gragson's passengers, say he was so severely injured in the crash that it's still hard for him to do even basic tasks. They blame Gragson's reckless actions.
His temper, which caused my husband to eject from the vehicle over 50 feet, landing on his head and almost dying. 14 months later, Chris is still not healed and may never fully be.
Why should his life now be so miserable because of something somebody else did?
Mother of 3, Melissa Newton, also a passenger, was killed in the crash, her parents fighting back tears in the courtroom.
I once again carried my baby in my arms. Only this time it was her remains as I delivered them to her final resting place.
In an unusual move, Gragson did not see the families face to face. He was allowed to call in virtually.
There are no words that can accurately express the pain, remorse, helplessness, guilt.
Gragson did not get the maximum sentence, but prosecutors say loved ones are still pleased.
They're comfortable that they had their day in court and they feel like they were heard, so they're satisfied in that sense.
The family is hoping their pain is never felt by anyone else.
It's personal, it's profound, it's permanent, and it was totally preventable.
Gragson's attorneys also presented over 100 letters from prominent people across Las Vegas showing their support for Gragson in the hopes of getting the minimum sentence. That did not happen. And again, Gragson was sentenced to 8 to 20 years in prison. And there's also a civil case still pending against Gragson, and that's the one involving Bentley. Reporting live in the newsroom tonight, Orko Manna, 8 News Now.